You are entering a location next to a designated zone across the street from an area called time, space, and alternate reality. You may find yourself asking questions like, where did he acquire such a cool power-up? How do I get to that secret bonus level? And when will they release a new nifty hat for me? There are many of these questions, and we will do our best to answer as many of them as we can, as Aperture Gaming is proud to present the DLC Zone. Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it, we test it, you play it. And welcome to a late episode of the DLC Zone. Now, on the 23rd, Ubisoft released Watchdogs DLC Bad Blood for anyone that has a Season Pass. And I know not everyone in the world owns a Season Pass, so then on the 30th they released it again for everyone who just wanted to buy it right off the bat. So, for those of you who have bought it and don't know what you're getting into, or for those of you who are still on the fence as to whether or not you want to play it, here's my review of Bad Blood. Now, if you have not beaten the game yet, be warned that there may be a few spoilers, so I'll try to keep it to a minimum or try to avoid them as much as possible, but it's going to be hard to without being able to tell the story. So with that, I give you Bad Blood. Now the game takes place 1 year, roughly a year after the events at the end of the first Watch Dogs main campaign. Now, you play as T-Bone and, well, or Raymond Kenny, depending on what you like to call him. And you're just doing your usual thing. You're messing with the CTOS and you're making life miserable for Bloom. Now, the point of this is you're trying to cover your tracks so you can finally leave Chicago and find someplace else to kick back and relax. When you get a call from Tobias Frewer, and you have to help him because there's something is going down where both he and Tobias are at the epicenter of some huge event, and like I said, it's after 1 year has passed, but there's still troubles going on in Chicago. Now, in the first Watch Dogs game, the game was divided into 8 acts. Each act had a couple of missions, story-based missions, but this one, it only has 3 acts, and it has 10 missions. 3, 4, 3. So it's a DLC, so it's considerably shorter than the main game. Let's see. But here's what, even though it's just DLC, it's very much like the main game. The story is really good, and it takes place all over Chicago. You're not just isolated to maybe one small section of the city. No, you get the entire city. Basically, wherever you went in the main Watch Dogs game, you can go in this game. Plus, it offers some new locations. Now, also like the original game, it has audio collectibles, it has car collectibles, music collectibles, and for the music and car part, now, since you were Aiden Pierce, you have to recollect all the cars and all the music that he did in the main game. But the upshot is, if you downloaded the car from Uplay, or if you unlocked any of the special bonus weapons from Uplay, those are available right off the bat, so it gives you a little wiggle room, but the rest you have to manually buy. Another thing you have to work on reacquiring is powers. While you get a whole bunch of powers for hacking and combat and whatnot, you have to re-unlock some through skill points. So that's kind of an annoying thing. I have to re-unlock everything, even though you're supposed to be this major hacker. Now there's some new locations, like I said, in Chicago. But like I said, you can still explore the old parts of it. So I like how it's a balance of giving you everything from the old game, but also adding in some new stuff. And speaking of new stuff, they have these new events called Street Sweeping, where there are 3 main villain groups in factions in this game. There's the Fixers, the Militia, and the Chicago South Club. Now, if you do one of these missions, like it'll say, hack this terminal, do it in under 5 minutes, and your reward is you get a street sweeper point. What do these points do? Well, on the main game you could use money to buy stuff. These points, they are used to unlock costumes for T-Bone. He does have 2 costumes that he can pay money for, but it's mostly just street sweeper points. The best part is, you're encouraged to come back and play the game, the DLC, multiple times a day because they have stuff that they have the regular Street Sweeper points and then they have ranked points, where you and 4 other people compete. Well, who knows how many other people compete for the top 5 slots on the leaderboard. If you get 5th place, you get 1 point, but if you get like 2nd or 1st place, you could get up to 5 Street Sweeper points in just 1 mission. So you have to watch out for that because that's pretty cool. And the game will have no problem telling you, it'll pop up on the screen, oh, someone beat you. Aside from that, you can also return to the online gaming against like people on their cell phones or other hackers. So yeah, so from the online tailing, the online hacking from the main game is carried over into this game. Another feature they have is co-op, so you can actually so you and someone else can actually in-game work together. So it's pretty interesting how that was incorporated in. I think it would have been really good if they had more of that for the main game, but who knows, maybe we'll get some more later on. Let's see. Yeah, and now with the skill points unlocked from street sweeping and from just regular leveling, you once again unlock some hacking stuff, but you can also unlock some new stuff. Like at some point you will unlock a remote controlled car, which you can upgrade, and the street sweeper points you can actually unlock new weapons, and you can actually unlock a boost ability for some of your powers, like take less damage from shots, have better driving ability, or you can actually maybe increase maybe the power of your blackout or your comm jam. Instead of having to spend your skill points, some of those are for free. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. Now, Aiden Pierce, he plays a bit of a role in the game, but mostly in audio sense and in locations of where he's been. Now, when Aiden Pierce, he had the multiple layers in the game where he could go and crash. T-Bone only has 1, and all the fast travel check-in points, they're just locations. You can't really go into them. They're not real bunkers or those metal storage containers. So that's a bit of a downside. Yeah, so like I said, he can fast travel to locations, either those specific spots, or via the Tran-Ham system. But, like I said, he only has 1 bunker. It kind of constricts you a little bit to if I want to actually go inside a building, I can only go inside a bunker, I can only go inside 1. Yeah, but there's not really that much, there's not really anything hidden at these other locations. They're just fast travel, there's no hidden audio logs like there was for Aiden Pierce. So it's a bit of a trade-off. You don't get any special audio unlocks, but you still get a fast travel location. And yes, for this game, there's music unlocks, there's car unlocks, like I said, and there is audio unlocks. There's hidden audio files located through across the city, so they remember to include that in the game also. Now while there's those downsides, there's some upsides. Since this has been a year after the main event, there are some things you have to take care of after the fact, like people might still be looking for Aiden Pierce, trying to figure out who he is, who he was, or where he is. So as you progress through the game, you actually unlock some special side missions. And there's some side missions for DedSec. So it's great how they don't have just the main mission, these street sweep points. They actually have incorporated a pretty good side story into this game. So I like how it turned out. So yeah, this is a really good DLC. It has a few downsides, but I can be forgiving with those because overall the game itself, it's great. If you haven't gotten it yet, I highly recommend it. And for those of you who have the season pass and got it last week, you know how good it is. So we here at Aperture Games, we give Watchdogs Bad Blood a 9.5 out of 10. Okay. Thank you for watching this review. Once again, I apologize for posting it so late, but things have been busy here, and I didn't want to be spoiling the DLC for other people. So until next time, this has been Aperture Gaming. This has been Test Subject 1337, and this has been the DLC Zone. Have a nice day.